Woo, boy. I survived today, so, you know, can I say? Um, I'm gonna talk about that though. The situation. I'm gonna have a video about that. Hopefully, get some views. He almost getting jumped at Washington Square, 4th Street Park, by one of these, I guess these people that sell, legalized, weed. They sell all the different types of strains or whatever. People buy this shit. But they was wilding out, so I'm gonna have a story about that. But I also wanted to talk about some stuff that was on my mind and just reflect and just let some things out. I just thought about how you have a lot of things going on in the world with Ukraine, and you got things going on in Taiwan now. You got things going on, all these different altercations, stuff building up, allegedly, To me, I don't believe, I see more than that, I've never really believed in all these wars and stuff like that come up. I think that they use these things to feed the industrial complex, They get to sell weapons, they get to sell, all types of, they get to get resources from, quote unquote developing countries, things like that. They use this it's like a game, it's like a Ponzi scheme, it's a scheme, to have this idea to go help this poor country out. It's a bigger country. It's like a what they call a white savior complex, So they come in, they try to claim they're gonna help these people, and they're gonna come in and they're gonna, get rid of, whatever rebel group. Many times these rebel groups also basically CIA groups that they put there, to cause trouble, because a lot of these countries, they don't have money to be having gun factories and all these weapons, all these types of weapons and shit. They don't have, they legitimately cannot. These are not organic rebels that are going out here terrorizing shit. They're getting money. They're getting funded. They're getting funded low key. So this is all like inorganic conflicts that we have going on constantly, because they have people that want to control where the resources are coming from and control our minds and what we see and what they feel we need to care about as current conflict or news. So they're doing with Ukraine for the longest, but I kept seeing on Twitter and stuff like that, this president that they have over there, or prime minister of Ukraine, Zelensky, this dude's always taking fucking photos. This dude's like, it's almost like a movie over there, and this dude seems like he's more of a movie star than a fucking leader, and he literally is an actor. I think that's not a coincidence when you have Arnold Schwarzenegger and you have you got Ronald Reagan. You had a couple presidents who were legit actors, and to me that's part of their kind of some of the training, that they go through. They know how to act. They know how to get a persona and talk politically to people to make you feel comfortable hearing what they have to say. If you say anything, they realize, these guys manipulative, people that have made their way to the top. They say things in a manipulative way to make you feel comfortable, like they know what they're talking about, so you don't panic. And that's what's been going on, with this COVID stuff. It's not that COVID is bad, it's that we should be careless around COVID. It's the reaction to COVID, locking down the economy and not helping out mom and pops spots and acting like COVID is the problem. Is not it. Like that was not how did people think that was okay? People didn't care. People just went along with it. Like that was not okay. And that's scary, to think that we're just this brainwashed, and they're just sweet talking us into anything, When I see that, I think, damn, like, we really can, they can really say anything and we just eat it up. Like, that's why these big top, 1% people are so fucking nuts. They can say anything and they just word it a certain way and we just eat that shit up and, we just, We're like worms. We're like maggots to these people, you know. They feed us garbage day in and day out, you know. That's why we have so many issues out here. You know, we got so much homelessness, we got so much crime, you know. A lot of this stuff is stuff that we could easily deal with if we had a true society that cared about people, but we don't. So we're out here with all these problems, you know. And another thing about it is in New York City, you know, yes, New York City is fucking filled with inequality. Like, you know, all kinds of, like, shit is, you know, people, if you go, like, if you look from the projects to, like, a better part, you know, let's say you go from, like, the projects and just shit where I'm just at, you know, the projects down here in the Lower East Side and, you know, Delancey Street and shit like that. And then you go over to where white people are in Tribeca, different vibes. You don't have to deal with the same. You can just feel like there's a different vibe, you know. Now, you know, it's even worse. This is definitely not one of the worst projects. It's, you know, definitely way better. But it's still like, you know, you can see like a lot of neglect and, you know, people don't give a shit as much about the neighborhoods where they're at. And when you see more projects and stuff like that, than when you go to somewhere where people, you know, see the neighborhood as more of an investment, something, you know, something to really invest into, you know. And that's a problem out here. People don't really see, a lot of regular, everyday people don't really see a problem in investing in where they're at. You know, we don't really look out for each other. You know, we just see each other as whatever. But yeah, like I was saying, back to that, you know, all that goes in together, you know. The leaders, you know, of these countries, you know, are kind of like manipulated, and same thing with these rebel groups. A lot of these groups, you know, Al-Qaeda and stuff like that, you know, people don't want to talk about these things. Like, a lot of these events are manipulated. They're not all the way organic. You know, a lot of these events that are taking place in the world that we think is real, you know, oh, it's gonna bring a revolution, it's gonna bring a change, it's gonna make, you know, every time, you know, we think something's gonna come that's gonna make the world a better place. And I don't think Black Lives Matter is gonna be the change. I don't think, you know, what's another thing that, you know, people think is gonna bring a change? I don't think they're arguing back and forth about abortion is gonna be a change. You know, I don't think all these other, first of all, you know, I'm gonna talk about abortion another time, but, you know, I don't think, you know, all these things that we think we care about, I don't think that's gonna, many of the main things that we think we care about and go to the government to whine about is like, look, that shit is dead. It's dead. 2022, if you haven't seen it by now, that you don't realize that it's a joke, that our government is a joke, you might never know. You might never notice. Like, you're just gonna be asleep forever. Like, they literally gave you the president that the one person have to be laughing in your face. They have to be laughing in your face right now because they're giving you the most brain dead president. His brain is on 1%. Like, his life, he's walking on life support. This man is walking on life support. You know, any moment, he just boom, it's time. You don't know when he's going to expire. And people are arguing, oh man, you know, at least it's not Trump, at least it's not Hillary, you know. Who gives a fuck who it is? So, excuse my French. Who cares who it is? You know, it don't matter who's out here. Like, anybody, you know, the people that they have, these people are selected. And whoever they put in is going to do the same, whatever agenda that they have for the time. So if Trump comes back in and they feel like, you know, they want to continue talking about Mexico and obsessing over Mexico, and we keep having cartel conflicts, and they keep screaming about they're coming into in America bringing drugs are going up and opioids and all this shit, because that's what certain people at the top wanted, and that's what's trickling down to us. That's how things run, you know. Our economy is run by trickle down effect. Reagan told you the trickle down effect, you know. It can't be any better said. Like, everything is trickling down. Like, whatever they decide is gonna come down. And they come up with a plan. You hear them talk about on TV. Look, we want, we want to blockade, you know, oil from Russia and stuff like that. It's gonna trickle down. When people think, oh yeah, they're doing this and they're doing that, it's not gonna affect you in a good way. Like, you're not dumb. They don't have to worry about that. They take private jets, you know. They take all these nice little fancy cars with security and shit like that. You gotta worry about that shit. You gotta worry about going to a gas station and getting robbed. You
You got to worry about, when the next meal's at because, gas is too much. You got to worry about the people out of touch. These politics don't matter. We're not conservative over here. We're not liberal over here. We don't argue about who's going to be the next president. We don't give a damn. We don't give a fuck. Fuck that shit. That shit is dead. Done. Clap. Yeah. You gotta be different out here. People gotta stop being scared to be different. If you want to make it out here, be different. Be okay with people not liking you. Be okay with saying stuff that's off the wall, Many times I struggle with that, but it's like, fuck it. I can't be a fucking fake person, You can't be out here faking. It feels like you're wearing a bad costume or wearing some bad makeup or something. Like, you just don't feel right. You're wearing shoes that don't fit. When you go out here and you're trying to be, fit in, and you just know it's just all of this bullshit, It's just not it. So yeah, like, it's just, I'm tired of it, I'm sick and tired. COVID, like, come on, that's just so blatant in our face that they were just letting us know that they want to control us like a motherfucker. Shut shit down, you can't come out after 10, da 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 da, all this other shit. People still didn't wake up. Trump, all this shenanigans and fuckery, people screaming every day. People were screaming every day about Trump this and Trump that. And I'm like, hey, at a certain point, we just gotta be like, hey, he's the crazy, crazy talking grandpa over here, And then Joe Biden came over here and he on 1% mode, And that man just bobblehead, through the fucking 4 years out here. And that's how, hey, that's what we got out here, man. And who cares? We don't even need to. Why do we need to listen to these people? Fuck them. They're just figureheads. They're supposed to represent you, but when they don't represent you, they're doing shit that you like, oh, I didn't tell you, I don't support that shit. Don't be brain dead and just follow what you think you're supposed to do. Break out the mode. Break out the mode and be free. And that's all I got. Thank you. Share, like, subscribe.